Second delay.
Yes, we can hear you, Luis.
Okay, do you have a delay? Are we delayed? Do you have a 10-second delay?
So,
Okay. All right, we'll get started here in about 9 o'clock, guys. So, Phil, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Tom, you ready?
Oh yeah, I'm recording. Guys, you're live today too, on YouTube.
All right, good morning, everybody. It is 9 a.m. Today is January 4th. We will call this Board of County Commissioners for the brand new year of 2022 to order at this time. Commissioner Haas, would you please lead us in the invocation this morning?
Heavenly Father, we thank you for the year that has passed and the many blessings you have bestowed on us. We beg your pardon in our many failings and trespasses, and we pray that the coming year be more of a fruitful one. We call upon you, Lord, for your intercessions, guidance, and your light to shine on our path. Amen.
Amen. Mr. Peters, would you please lead us in the pledge this morning?
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Felix Lopez.
Here,
Commissioner Hess. Here. Commissioner Luis Lopez.
I am here. Do we have any changes to the agenda?
No changes to the agenda, Commissioner.
Entertain a motion, please.
Move for approval.
I move to approve the agenda as posted.
Second the motion.
Commissioner Hess.
Yes.
Commissioner Felix Lopez.
Yes.
Commissioner Luis Lopez.
Yes, since we have no consideration of minutes, we'll start with the reading and correspondence of commission committee reports. Commissioner Lopez, would you like to go first this morning?
Sir, I have nothing to report at this time. Thank you.
Commissioner Haas? The only thing I have to report is we had a little bit of moisture that every doing job. And welcome to 2022, everybody. We hope this is a prosperous year for all of our communities and the nation. Thank you. Public comment, do we have anybody on the call or in the room today for public comment?
Yep.
Yes, we do. Tom, Mr. Murphy. Good morning, Tom.
Good morning, commissioners and staff. They'll be very brief today. There's one thing I forgot to tell you the last time we spoke, that anybody that is live streaming government, COVID has kind of thrown a wrench into this, but there is an issue with closed caption. Technically, before COVID happened, everything that is live was supposed to be closed captioned for the ADA. And that was one thing when I walked away, I realized I hadn't spoken to you about it. So, second thing is there was a story written about this. And I'm going to address the writer, but my wife and I owned a newspaper for 11 years. And we had an editor, and Paul was the publisher, and we practiced journalistic principles. Now, not that everything in here is wrong, but a basic principle of journalism 101 is that you call up the person you're writing about and ask them to clarify, to go on the record. That didn't happen. And I've given him some more details about this. So this is my way of going on the record and making sure that it's out there, is next time there was a story, the basic principles of journalism is you call the subject that you're writing about and ask them to clarify facts, and ask them to give you statements. That's the way we practice journalism. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Murphy. Anyone else on the call for public comment? Hearing none. We'll move on to presentations. Mr. Andy Smith with Fleet Enterprises. Andy, are you on the call?
I am here. Can everybody hear me all right?
Yes, good morning.
Good morning. How are y'all doing today? I really appreciate you spending a little bit of time with me. Hope everybody's getting a good start off to your new 2022. I know I had the opportunity to speak to some folks from the county over the last couple of years, as well as some of the commissioners and the CCA commission. So I certainly do welcome this opportunity. really what I would like to do in the enterprise. Secondly, share some industry update information with the commissioners and other folks in the discussion. And also learn a little bit more about county fleet and some of the budgeting things that I think will be important as we step through the conversation. Was there anything else that anybody wanted to make sure that I covered today?
I think you've had some discussion with our administrator in the past and also with Mrs. Coverly. I don't know if you guys have spoken. He was with Fleet, the enterprise company. In the past, I think we've discussed some things possibly with sheriff vehicles or other fleets a couple of years ago. And I don't know if we have any other questions or comments for you at this time other than I want to personally thank you for your hospitality at the CCI conference. It was nice to see you guys there and give us some good dialogue and discussion what we need, what we have. If you could possibly send your email information to Mr. Dorkamp if he doesn't have it already, with another list again of your services. As we move forward, the year's been budgeted for this year, but it doesn't mean that down the road there might be some vehicles that might need to be replaced. You know how sometimes they break down or get involved in accidents or something of that sort of nature. I don't know if we're in a position right now financially to go into looking at a fleet deal, but it's always nice to have that information at our fingertips.
Absolutely, and really my intention today is to introduce you to enterprise, and then assuming that this looks appealing to the county, we'd love to come down and actually present a solution to you in person, and obviously we want to be worried of the timing as it relates to the overall budget cycle. 30,000 foot view of enterprise, folks, is that we are obviously the fleet management division of Enterprise Rent-A-Car. We work with a lot of counties here in the state, Mace County, Lake County, Park County, Warren County, Uray County, all certainly come to mind. And really what we help our folks do is take your capital and operating budgets, push those two pools of money together and see if there's a more creative way that we can come up with replacing your vehicles with that specific amount of money. I was lucky enough to have a conversation with Mr. Dorkamp a couple of years back. My understanding, though, is that things have changed a little bit, and that there is some more, that there has been a tax that has been passed for public safety type vehicles, which could potentially free up a little bit more budget for other vehicles. Is that correct? And maybe if somebody could expand on that just a little before I jump in today.
We had a ballot measure that was passed that was basically to lift a sunset provision for public safety, and that would be primarily district attorney's office and the public safety sheriff's department and so forth. So yeah, that was definitely lifted indefinitely, but moving forward, we're not sure how that's going to play out. I think we are in a secure place financially for years to come because of that. But as you know, in government, everything changes year to year. Sales tax is based on the sales tax revenue, and that can go up and down as we move forward in the future. Marijuana sales in the state of Colorado are slumping, and we receive a portion of that of the 1.5% sales tax. So again, in government, you've been working in government for a long time, that changes year to year, annually, and what we can do. But it is nice to have a resource like yourself here, like I said, at our fingertips if we need to move forward in applying our fleet to our county employees.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I do appreciate that. Let me go ahead and I'm going to share my screen if that's okay. If the host would allow me to share my screen, that would be great, and I can kind of run through what I plan to share with you today. So, hopefully you can see a green screen with a little bit of a wheel on it. Everybody with me?
Yep.
I think after a couple of years of COVID, I'd be a pro at this, but still getting the old Zoom down. So, in terms of an enterprise and who we work with locally, we are working with a number of different counties. I did also talk to Mr. Dorkamp along the way that the city of Fountain has been a long-term client of ours down in your neck of the woods. The other thing I do want to point out is that we are on several cooperative purchasing agreements, one of them being Sourcewell. Certainly, if your procurement process, will allow you to use Sourcewell as your due diligence, they did go out and compete this with a number of other companies and have selected Enterprise as their top provider for this particular service. Certainly, if anybody has any questions along the way, please do stop me and we can, answer any questions you might have. In terms of vehicles themselves, we certainly understand nobody likes to buy new vehicles like crazy. But there does become a point in time when depreciation levels out. And the other thing that we do see is fuel expenses going up on older vehicles. Obviously, vehicles that are older are less fuel efficient, lose engine compression over time. And then, of course, you've got increased maintenance and repair costs on those vehicles. So really what Enterprise is working to do with our clients is get you out of a situation where you're replacing vehicles well beyond their useful life and moving that more towards an ideal replacement time, which will allow you to capitalize the resale value and minimize your maintenance costs. The other point I'd like to make on this slide, everybody, is depreciation of government starts a lot lower than it does with a normal, even fleet or retail buyer because of large rented vehicles. Certainly, the county runs a lot of trucks, and trucks have upwards of $8,000–9,000 rebates from the manufacturers, which means that we can really help minimize your depreciation expense on these vehicles by helping you cycle them more regularly and obviously reduce your maintenance and repair costs. Any questions on that at all? And a couple of things that I do want to talk about industry-wide before we get into here specifically, because it is important. If anybody's tracked the news over the last month, and we know there's a micro shortage right now, vehicles are hard to get. That's done a couple of things. It's put us in a good place with our customers to be able to help find vehicles for you. It's also been able to allow us to increase resale values on vehicles. And I'll talk about those two items in just a moment here. This slide is important because it represents 12 years of car sales in the United States. You can obviously see that during the recession of 2008, the manufacturers went down to producing 10 million units per year. This is all U.S. car sales, all manufacturers during these specific model years is what these bars represent. As the manufacturers came out of the recession, they obviously made vehicles, but it took them a long time to get that back to pre-recession levels. And two things happened. One, they made a very concerted effort to make less fleet spec vehicles. And two, they were simply just making less vehicles. So that has made it a challenge for my government and fleet customers to find their vehicles that they do need. But the other thing it's done is increase resale value. It allows us to help them cycle more regularly. The other two things I want to point out is COVID has really wreaked havoc on our industry. We went down to 14.5 million units during 2020. We don't really know where 2021 is going to end, but it has been a very challenging time to get vehicles. I'm sure the county has experienced that with, different, if you may order or share vehicles, and maybe that time to get from our customers. So the most important thing I can impress upon my clients at this point with this particular situation is it is something that we need to get out ahead of. I understand your budget cycles. I understand we need to work within those confines. But we are seeing it taking upwards of a year to get vehicles, which is increasing that lead time. Any questions on that at all? Does anybody know the county has dedicated some funds then for sheriff vehicles and for other vehicles within the county for this particular budget year? Anybody know about what that is, how many vehicles and cost?
We have two. The sheriff is going to buy 2 vehicles this year.
Did you hear?
Okay. Got SO office, 2 vehicles. Anything dedicated on the rest of the county fleet?
We have 1.
We have $500,000 set aside for equipment purchases within the road and bridge department, but we are not looking at changing out any of our smaller fleet pickups, etc., but heavy equipment instead. And then within the sheriff's department, we assign him, I don't want to say it's dedicated, $110,000 every year that he can use towards vehicle purchases or replacements. And then our finance director, Christy Colby, also came up with, I think, another two purchases out of the
So there's 74,000.
the safety funds.
Yes, so there's 74,000.
Out of there, and then 110 from the
Correct.
sales tax.
And then we have 35,000 for an administration car, a vehicle for commissioners or for elected officials to travel.
Right.
Probably a newer vehicle for them.
Okay, thank you. That's very helpful. I do appreciate that. I'll definitely get into the county fleet in just a couple of slides here, but that does help me better understand what's going on with the county. So a couple of things with the industry, right? We've got the situation with the manufacturing, but the flip side of this is resale values for vehicles are through the roof. I understand that the county's vehicles are fairly old, but there are some 10-year-old vehicles with 100 to 150,000 miles on it in your fleet today that are worth a significant amount of money. The other side to this equation is as we look to add vehicles to your fleet, we want to look at proper cycling times to help you capture resale value. So this slide represents 20 years of U.S. car sales for the whole industry going back to 1995. Sorry, I jumped ahead there. You can really see that the cost of used vehicles has gone up quite a bit over the last 20 years. It obviously has spiked a lot because of COVID. But what this tells us is there is a compelling economic reason for us to be able to cycle your vehicles more regularly. And let me get into some numbers around that. What I see with a lot of government clients is they might have a 10-year cycle on vehicles, right? What we need to look at, though, is if you get a 2021 F-250, let's say, that's worth or costs $37,000, your state contract price could be $24,000 to $25,000 for that vehicle with your government incentives. If you run that vehicle for 10 years, it ends up costing you in depreciation expense around $21,000 because we're only able to sell it for about $3,100. But what really happens with my clients and with even the rental car side of my business is if you look at auction results on vehicles over a period of time, you can take a 1-year-old vehicle, you could buy it for $24,700, but sell it for $28,000 through enterprise and actually have negative depreciation on that vehicle. So this is how a lot of rental car companies make a lot of money, is they're selling those vehicles so quickly that they're actually making money because they get an incentive similar to what governments get. Now, I understand that cycling vehicles every year may not be feasible within the county, but what we want to be able to do is look at what period of time can we capture the resale value to help you be able to minimize your depreciation expense and reduce your capital outlay. So that's really where enterprise comes into play. We can put this into that seed capital and do the vehicles more quickly. I'll show you a slide on that in a second. And be able to help capture your resale value. So generally what we're looking at is approximately a 5-year cycle time on those vehicles. Any questions on that at all? So one of the keys that we bring to the table is resale capability. I mentioned my rental department resells their vehicles and make a lot of money doing that because we don't send a lot of vehicles to auction. We have 10 full-time people in Colorado actively selling vehicles to a network of dealers. Because we're getting multiple bids, that does facilitate for most of my government clients their due diligence on getting multiple bids when they sell vehicles. So we can not only sell existing county vehicles, but we can also sell any vehicles that you can get through us in an effort to increase those resale values. Because we're keeping them out of an auction, we take this very seriously. We're getting about 8 to 10% above average black book pricing, which is your auction equivalent of blue book. So as we look at cycling a county or city's vehicles every 5 years, this is a huge part of the equation to be able to help you maximize those resale values. Questions on that at all? Okay, I'm going to assume no. I got one more slide and then I'm going to jump right into the county's fleet. So the other thing that we're able to help you do is increase your fuel economy. If you look at some of the old vehicles you have, obviously they've got old, more inefficient vehicles. As we go through this process with a government partner, we're doing a lot of right sizing and right typing to help you get more fuel efficient vehicles than you might currently have. So your sheriff and Phil and Brady from your public works team were very helpful in setting some information ahead of time. So this is what your fleet looks like in terms of road and bridge and SO fleet. So I'm going to start with the sheriff fleet. Obviously, this looks to be a fleet that you've got some dedicated funding to. Obviously, you've got anywhere from 2 to 4 vehicles. It sounds like that you're able to some money for in the next year to be able to replace. As I look at this fleet, you've got about 8 of those vehicles over 100,000 miles, which is that benchmark that we see much higher maintenance costs and resale value go down, and we would advise the client to sell these vehicles. In working with Montezuma County, they actually have a pretty good replacement fund, but they still struggle with keeping up with certain segments of vehicles. So with their county, we're really focused on their sheriff's office and a couple of other vehicle segments to try to update those vehicles more regularly. So this is obviously something you all know, but this would certainly be a fleet that I could see some opportunity with us being able to update. Let me shift gears and look at road and bridge fleet. I don't think this is a surprise or a secret for anybody in the county. This fleet is very old. Nearly the whole fleet is over 100,000 miles. I would imagine within this fleet there might be some spare vehicles. If we were able to upgrade it, we could probably eliminate those spares. Brady did share your maintenance numbers on those vehicles. You've got about 14 vehicles that are within the last 5 to 10 years old that are costing you nearly $2,000 a year to maintain. We know that if we went to the enterprise managed program, or we're able to think a little bit more quickly, we could drastically reduce that and also help to update the fleet as well. And then the other thing I did notice, probably have some other vehicles within human services or other departments I've listed built on our website that I've seen with other counties that we do have vehicles. And in terms of doing the comprehensive analysis for the county, we were going to include all of those vehicles within that census. Do you have any questions or comments or thoughts on this particular information?
No, I don't think so. Other than our fleet, we understand is probably old on our road and bridge side, but I will have to give big credits to Mr. Dornkamp and his staff and our maintenance department over there and our mechanics. They've done a great job of keeping that fleet going. Because you can tell how old our fleet is, and due to the financial burden that the taxpayers of Los Angeles County and the county had, we were positioned where we're at now moving forward. So I think moving forward in the future, we might be able to utilize to upgrade our fleet. So I'm glad you're able to analyze this for us, put this together. We know the fleet is old, but under the circumstances we were in for the past 5 to 10 years, I think this group has done a hell of a job keeping our vehicles on the road. So thank you for spotlighting them.
Yeah, they've got an older fleet there, and obviously have done a good job keeping those vehicles on the road as they have aged, for sure. Any other comments or questions at this point?
And yes, looking at the raw data that both from the SSO as well as the road and bridge fleet, what I know we have, you have that the old vehicles goes back to 1983. Is basically those are pretty updated. What is your perception? I know you're saying that we can save some dollars, but we would like to see this would be a huge undertaking for Los Angeles County as well as for your company to be able to at least take a look at one sector of the county, i.e. the road and bridge. What as just from your expert eye, where some of the savings would be capitalized for Los Angeles County on this particular?
Absolutely. So, the first thing we have to look at, Commissioner, is how much maintenance and repair you're spending on this particular fleet. And certainly do want to have some further conversation and clarification with Brady about those numbers so that I can ensure that is correct. Okay. take a look at, and did have a conversation with Mr. Dornkamp a couple of years back, is if the county can dedicate some amount of capital funding to replace vehicles through a lease funding model, we're able to make those dollars go a lot further. So if you look at vehicle might cost $40,000. Sounds like the county's been dedicated, one vehicle, two vehicles to be able to replace. If the county can dedicate a bit of capital dollars, we can actually leverage that capital to update more vehicles more quickly, reduce your base repair costs, reduce your fuel expenditures because we're getting newer vehicles to be able to get you in a place where you don't have a fleet that's this old. So we can accelerate the replacements. I've got an example of what that looks like for a different county that we put together. And again, and then get those other vehicles in the and then now for local county. Does that make sense? I think what was staff about is how many of these vehicles end up being spares because some of the older vehicles might be in the shop, might be being maintained. How many of them are appropriate to put as a program? That's another thing that we have to consider is I have clients that they may have a vehicle that gets 100 miles a month or something like that, and it just isn't used that much. And sometimes we put those out of the program. So when I put an analysis in front of you, I want to make sure that I've done my homework and talked to staff to ensure that it is the most comprehensive and complete as possible. Did that answer the question? Okay. Let me show you an analysis or an example of the deliverable that we would provide to the county once we get all of the data together. So the first thing that we do is we put together a fleet replacement plan. So this particular entity at 260 vehicles, they're obviously one of the larger folks that we would work with. Our typical clients have around 75 vehicles as a very typical client. But what we do here is we look at how old is the fleet, how can we replace that fleet over a period of time, and what would the cost be to do that? So with this 260 vehicle fleet, we were saying in the first year of doing the program, we want to replace anything that's 10 years or older or 100,000 miles. And then we click through a period of time where we're replacing the rest of those vehicles. So in this model, we were looking to replace 70 vehicles the first year, 20, 46, 60, and so on. And I also like to profile how many of the older vehicles a particular entity might have, just for a graphical of really kind of how old that fleet looks like. So this is just a plan that we then use to come up with a model financially of how we would accomplish this. I know I'm running through this pretty quickly, but I'm really trying to give you a high-level overview, and we'll absolutely forward this to you after we're finished today, so you can have thoughts on it and any questions for me. And this is the real piece of information that we would put before your account to show you what this would look like financially. So within this entity, the 260 vehicles, they were 10 to 12 years, were demanding that they needed to come up with about $750,000 in capital for replacement of the vehicles over that period of time. On top of those capital dollars, though, they had maintenance and fuel expenses that led to a fleet budget of approximately $1.3 million. Layering in vehicles over a 5-year period of time, following that model that I showed you, 70 vehicles to 20 to 46, etc., we moved from a purchase budget in the first year to nearly $750,000 to a lease budget of $375,000. So for roughly half the amount of money that it was taking them to replace 20 vehicles per year, we were actually able to replace 70 vehicles for them. We also took equity from any owned vehicles to replace those. And because we're replacing the older, most common vehicles, we're taking their maintenance down over a period of time, their fuel goes down over a period of time, so they're putting in many more fuel efficient vehicles. As you can see, over a period of time, their fleet budget goes down, And net savings that we can generate from this program, what our goal is to work with the government and work with the county and say, okay, with the capital dollars you have budgeted, and maintenance and repair costs and renewal costs you're experiencing now, how can we better utilize that, in this case, the $1.3 million budget, how can we better utilize that money to go into a lease funding model, help you replace the vehicles every, 4 to 7 years, and reduce maintenance repair costs. And as you can see, in years 6 through 10, we're able to capitalize on equity from vehicles that we are selling to the county that were leased by the county for 4 to 5 years. Our leases are unique in that it does recognize all equity that we get above the book value of the loan. And I can get into more details on that as we analyze the cookie program in Los Angeles County. But that said, it does allow the county to capture that resale value as we go into the program. So again, our goal is to save the county money, or worst case scenario, break even, but help update that equity on a more regular basis. So I know this is an example. I'm throwing a lot of numbers at you. I will send this to you. Any initial questions you can find at this point?
I do have a question. So on this particular example that you have on the chart that you have on the share screen, what is the lease maintenance? Say that we were to get into a total program and system either with either department. How do you adjust for the maintenance of those vehicles going forward? I know you have here excluded tires, maintenance costs are exclusive of tires, unless not on the lease, and so on. But the rest of the repairs, how does this plan calculate those and build up for the allowance to continue to have the maintenance cost?
Gotcha. So when we estimate the maintenance cost within a leased vehicle, we look at how much our full maintenance program would cost an entity. And whether you choose to use our full maintenance program, which is outsourced to local providers within your community, or you choose to continue to maintain vehicles in-house, as some of my clients have chosen to do, we know that that maintenance and repair is going to go down tremendously for the simple fact that if you're cycling vehicles at a 5-year point, cycling meaning that you're replacing vehicles within a 5-year period of time, we know you're going to have a factory warranty on the vehicle for a full 3 years or 36,000 miles. And for most makes and models, you're going to have a full powertrain warranty for either 60,000 or 100,000 miles. So we know that we can take a client that may be spending a lot of money in maintenance and repair and really just moving that more to preventative maintenance in that vehicle with a very limited amount of repair expense during that 5-year period of time. Furthermore, my understanding is, at least with some of the vehicles, some of the maintenance and repair has been outsourced. I was looking through some old notes that I had. Is that still the case, or is the maintenance and repairing the light-duty vehicles done in-house? Can somebody maybe clarify for me on that?
We are outsourcing some of the work. We don't have the current technology it takes to analyze some of that work that needs to be done with some of our equipment. Basically computers, etc. The software that goes with it.
Thank you very much. So to further answer your question, Commissioner, you can still do the maintenance in-house, or you could outsource it if you want, totally up to the county. What we know is in the first couple of years, you got very little maintenance and repair, very little repair, and just a little bit of maintenance that needs to be done. So we know we can drastically reduce what the county may be spending right now in those areas. Does that answer the question, sir? Thank you. Any other questions?
Yeah, I got a question. This is Commissioner Haas. With if we enter into this agreement with Fleet Enterprises, how are your services being collected? Do you have like a flat rate per unit? How do you do that?
Yep, that's a great question. So our pricing is all via Sourcewell. It is online. I can get you a link to it. Essentially, Enterprise makes money when we provide vehicles to a customer. So part of the lease charge on a monthly basis does cover our cost of doing business. And so we would provide to the county a account manager with Enterprise that would year over year help determine what vehicles need to be replaced, assist with the resale of the current fleet if you chose to do that through Enterprise, and then any of our the costs that the county would incur are encapsulated within that lease payment, and again are all fully disclosed within that Sourcewell contract.
Thank you. And is there a possibility that you would be able to do like a projection out what the savings would be to the county, or maybe there would be a deficit to the county with the services rendered?
Yes, sir, absolutely. And so my intention of our discussion today is just to ensure this is something that is of interest to the commissioners, at which point I would like to gather some more information. Again, I'm sure there's some other vehicles that the county has within assessor, coroner, emergency manager, et cetera, would like to get a comprehensive list of that, ensure that I have the maintenance numbers that we need to be able to benchmark what your current costs are, and my intention would be to put together that analysis that I just shared with you, specifically for Las Animas County. And of course, the other thing I will commit to you is if there is a deficit, we can have a conversation about that prior to having a meeting and ensure that the county is open to listening to that. Having done many of these over the years, certainly our goal is to get you cost savings or worst case scenario cost neutral to be able to replace and upgrade those vehicles. I would also like to comment that I think that somewhere within the county there's probably somebody looking at this fleet saying, hey, we haven't replaced any vehicles for the last 4 or 5 years on road and bridge, and I don't know what the rest of the fleet looks like. Outsider looking in, this is definitely, whether done through Enterprise or not, something that the county would need to address, in my opinion, at some point in the future to ensure that some of those vehicles are replaced at some point in the future.
Thank you.
If I may add, Andy, before we move forward or even contemplate moving forward with fleet or with Enterprise, we need to have dialogue with the commissioners and our council, legal counsel, regarding our bid procurement process before we move forward with anybody to see if the parameters would meet our bid procurement process. We do have a policy that anything over $6,000 in Los Angeles County needs to go out to bid, and probably including services such as yours. So before you go ahead and dive in and start putting a lot of work and effort into this, I think we need to have a dialogue amongst the commissioners and our administration before we do that moving forward. But I like to say this seems like a no-brainer situation to help the fleet here in Los Angeles County. It's a really neat program the way I look at it. I can see it so far. The only hang-up that I would have, and maybe you have a solution to this question, is a lot of our maintenance fleet or our road and bridge fleet have additional equipment on them, such as snow plows and toolboxes and other types of features of this nature. How do we secure those? Do those vehicles come with those types of extra added equipment? Do you add that into the bid process? How does that work?
Yes, sir. Great question, and thanks for asking that. We can include all aftermarket equipment into the program. We can include that into the payment stream if you want. You can pay cash for that if you would like. We can deliver vehicles with aftermarket on that. As another point of reference, on the commercial side of my business, about 30% of it is in the oil and gas sector. You are, I'm sure, very familiar with that in your neck of the woods. I have a lot of clients down in the Farmington area and northern New Mexico, and we do fully outfit their vehicles with toolboxes and brush carts and all sorts of different aftermarket equipment that we can do for you. Last comment on the sheriff's fleet, we can also put all of their equipment into the program as well. So that is a possibility for the campaign.
Okay, great. Anything else from you, Andy?
In closing, I really appreciate the time today. I will circle back around with this PowerPoint over to you. I will also provide the sourcewell information for you in the event that that is an acceptable way for you to do your due diligence. We want to be respectful of your purchasing process. We certainly understand that. We are also happy to respond to an RFP if that's deemed the most appropriate way for the county to take a look at these services. And certainly that next step would be to do an analysis, just like what I showed you, specifically for Los Angeles County, once we get the rest of the information together from your different departments. And I'll just close. Thank you for your time today. I really do appreciate it.
Great, thank you, Andy, and we'll look forward to seeing you this summer sometime, I'm sure.
Thanks, we appreciate it.
Okay, next up, elected officials update, since we have two of them in the room. Mrs. Leonetti, you'd like to go first? Do you have anything to say for us?
I do not.
Okay, then Mrs. Motto.
I always have something. Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
Happy New Year. Glad to be in a new year. Just to give you an update, we're going to be in the process of running the 2021 tax roll, so I can get over to the treasurer's office so she can get the 2021 tax bill sent out. Due to a resolution, or not a resolution, but a law change, and now it's Colorado Statute 39.3.119.5, we will be sending out our personal property declarations to all of our businesses within Los Angeles County. The majority of them will not be receiving one because now the exemption threshold is $50,000 actual cost of equipment. So I want to let our folks out there, our business owners, know that don't worry, you won't be receiving a declaration. So if they have questions, please call our office. Due to the law change, the new exemption went from $79,000 to $50,000. So we're hoping to save some cost on our side, but it is something I want the taxpayers to be aware of. They will not be receiving a declaration. And other than that, windows are going in our office, so hopefully we'll be getting forward.
So we have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
So we won't even send out notices on those then, right? Do we, is there?
I won't generate tax bills. Yes, there won't be a tax bill generated for their personal property equipment for those businesses.
Will we be losing income?
Well, we won't lose income for this year. The governor wrote it in the bill that they will be backfilling. Ms. Leonetti will be sending a report to the governor's office, I think in June, I believe, but I'm not positive on that date. And the governor's office, or the same mechanism that funds our senior and veteran exemptions, is sort of how this is taking place. They are supposed to send us a check, and then Ms. Leonetti will disperse that amount to each of the entities that are impacted by the loss of the new exemption for personal property. So I know this year it's funded. We'll see how Colorado funding mechanisms work in the future.
Okay, thank you, Ms.
Thank
Motto. All right, Mr. Mestis chimed in. He didn't have anything for us today. Sheriff Navarrete, I see he's on the call. Sheriff?
Good morning, Commissioners. No updates today. Thank you.
Thank you, Sheriff. I don't think we have anyone from the DA's office or the coroner's office. Unfinished business, we have none. Item 8, new business. Consideration of Resolution 22-001 designating KCRT FM as official radio station for Los Angeles County. Mr. Dornkamp, would you please read the resolution?
Resolution of the Board of County Commission, Los Angeles County, Colorado, designating KCRT 92.5 FM and AM as official radio station for Los Angeles County, Colorado for 2022. Resolution number 22-001. Whereas it is reasonable and necessary for the Board of County Commissioners to designate commercial radio station coverage throughout Los Angeles County as the official radio station for the purposes of broadcasting emergency notifications and the dissemination of information to the general public within Los Angeles County, and whereas radio station KCRT 92.5 FM and AM is duly licensed by the Federal Commission to operate as a general commercial radio station within Los Angeles County and to function as the official emergency alert system for an EAS radio station for the purpose of broadcasting alerts and warnings to the public within Los Angeles County. Now therefore be resolved by the Board of County Commissioners of Los Angeles County, Colorado, that the Board of County Commissioners has hereby designated KCRT 92.5 FM and AM radio station located 100 Fisher Drive, Trinidad, Colorado as the official radio station within Los Angeles County for the purpose of broadcasting all emergency alerts and warnings to the general public and the broadcasting of general information to the citizens of Los Angeles County during the calendar year 2022. Upon a motion made second, affirmative vote, this resolution was adopted this 4th day of January 2022. Order the Board of County Commissioners of Los Angeles County, Colorado, followed by your signature on this.
Thank you. Entertain a motion at this time, please.
Would move for approval of Resolution 22-001 designating KCRT AM or FM as official radio station for Los Angeles County.
Second the motion.
Commissioner Felix Lopez,
Yes.
Commissioner Hess,
Yes.
Commissioner Luis Lopez.
Yes, item B, consideration of resolution 22-002, designating financial institutions for the deposit of public funds for Los Angeles County. Mr. Dorman Campbell, please read the resolution.
Resolution of the Board of County Commissioners of Los Angeles County, Colorado, designating financial institutions for the deposit of public funds of Los Angeles County during 2022. Resolution number 22-002, whereas the Board of County Commissioners are required to formally designate financial institutions for the deposit of public funds of Los Angeles County, and whereas all financial institutions holding public funds are required to satisfy the requirements under CRS 11-10.5-101 entitled the Public Deposit Protection Act, PDPAN, stating that the requirements for the protection of the public funds held on deposit, and whereas Los Angeles County Treasurer Donna Leonetti is responsible for the collection, custody, and disbursement of public funds for taxing entities within Los Angeles County. And the state county treasurer has recommended to the county board those financial entities that qualify under PDPA for the holding of public funds during 2022. Now therefore be resolved by the Board of County Commissioners of Los Angeles County, Colorado, that 1. The Board of County Commissioners does hereby accept the recommendations of County Treasurer Donna Leonetti for the designation of financial institutions that qualify under PDPA for the deposit of public funds of Los Angeles County during 2022, including Century Savings and Loan Association, 233 East Main Street, Trinidad, Colorado, 81082 Bank of the West, 125 North Commercial Street, Trinidad, Colorado, 81082, IN Bank of Trinidad, 320 North Convent Street, Trinidad, Colorado, 81082, First National Bank of Trinidad, 100 East Main Street, Trinidad, Colorado, 81082, Peaks Investment Management, 10237 West 52nd Place, number 104 West Wheat Ridge, Colorado, 80033. Colorado Trust, Spring, Colorado Local Government Liquid Asset Trust, Inc., 717 17th Street, Suite 1850, Denver, Colorado, 80202. C-Safe, 1675 Broadway, Suite 500, Denver, Colorado, 80202. On a motion made second, affirmative vote, this resolution was adopted this 4th day of January 2022 by order of the Board of County Commissioners of Los Angeles County, Colorado, followed by your signature on this.
Thank you, Mr. Campbell. Entertain a motion at this time.
I move to approve resolution number 22-002, designating the financial institutions for the deposit of public funds for Los Angeles County during fiscal year 2022.
Second the motion.
Commissioner Hess,
Yes.
Commissioner Felix Lopez,
Yes.
Commissioner Luis Lopez.
Yes. Item C, consideration of resolution 22-003, designating Trinidad Chronicle News and World World Journal official publications for Los Angeles County. Mr. Dorman Campbell, would you please read the resolution?
Resolution of the Board of County Commissioners of Los Angeles County, Colorado, designating the Chronicle News and World Journal as official newspapers for publication of legal notices by Los Angeles County during 2022. Resolution number 22-003, whereas in accordance with state statutes, the Board of County Commissioners and other elected officials are required from time to time to have legal notices published and to disseminate other information to the general public within Los Angeles County. And whereas the Chronicle News and the World Journal are newspapers of general circulation within Los Angeles County and are therefore qualified to publish legal notices and other public information that is required to be published by Los Angeles County. Now therefore be resolved by the Board of County Commissioners of Los Angeles County, Colorado, that one, the Board of County Commissioners hereby designates the Trinidad Chronicle News and the World Journal as official newspapers for the purpose of publication of legal notices and such other legal publications as required by law during 2022. Upon motion made to second affirmative vote, this resolution was adopted this 4th day of January 2022 by order of the Board of County Commissioners of Los Angeles County, Colorado, followed by your signature lines.
Thank you, Mr. Darkett. Entertain a motion, please.
I would move to approve Resolution 22-003 designating Trinidad Chronicle News and the World Journal official publications for Los Angeles County.
I second that motion.
Commissioner Felix Lopez,
Yes.
Commissioner Hess,
Yes.
Commissioner Luis Lopez.
Yes. Item D, consideration of resolution 22-004, establishing dates and times for conducting regular Board of County Commissioner meetings for Los Angeles County. Mr. Darkett, please read the resolution.
Resolution of the Board of County Commissioners of Los Angeles County, Colorado, establishing the dates and times for the conduct of regular meetings of the Board of County Commissioners during 2022. Resolution number 22-004, whereas Los Angeles County Board of County Commissioners, in conformance with CRS 30-10-303, is required to meet at the county seat for the purpose of conducting county business no less frequently than once each month. And whereas the Board of County Commissioners desire to continue this established practice of meeting twice monthly in regular session for consideration of such business that may come before the board to be held on the first and third Tuesday of each calendar month, beginning at the hour of 9 a.m. And whereas the board reserves the right to meet in special session as deemed necessary by the board to transact business that may not be reasonable to be held within a regular meeting. Now therefore be resolved by the Board of County Commissioners of Los Angeles County, Colorado. 1, for the calendar year 2022, the Board of County Commissioners shall meet in regular session twice monthly on the first and third Tuesday of each calendar month, beginning at the hour of 9 a.m. in the Commissioners' Chambers located in room 201, Los Angeles County Courthouse, 200 East First Street, Trinidad, Colorado, or virtually for the purposes of consideration of such matters that may come before the board. Upon motion made second, affirmative vote, this resolution was adopted this 4th day of January 2022. Order of the Board of County Commissioners of Los Angeles County, Colorado, followed by your signature lines.
Thank you. Entertain a motion, please.
I move to approve resolution number 22-004, establishing the dates and times for the conduct of regular meetings of the Board of County Commissioners during fiscal year 2022.
Second motion.
Commissioner Hess,
Yes.
Commissioner Felix Lopez,
Yes.
Commissioner Luis Lopez.
Yes. Item E, consideration of resolution 22-005, establishing a schedule for periodic meeting dates and times for Board of County Commissioners and Department of Human Services meetings. Mr. Darkett, please read the resolution.
Resolution of the Board of County Commissioners of Los Angeles County, Colorado, establishing a schedule for periodic meeting dates and times for the transaction of business of the board acting in its capacity as Los Angeles County Board of Human Services during calendar year 2022. Resolution number 22-005. Whereas the Los Angeles County Board of County Commissioners serves as the Los Angeles County Board of Human Services in conformance with CRS 26-1-116, and whereas Los Angeles County Board of Human Services is required to meet periodically to conduct human services related businesses and consider such other human services related matters as may come before the Board of Human Services, and whereas Los Angeles County Board of Human Services, in conformance with state statutes, oversees the provision of public assistance within the county, in accordance with the rules and regulations established by the Colorado Department of Human Services for the administration of public assistance and welfare activities. Whereas Los Angeles County Board of Human Services shall preside at all meetings of the Board of Human Services, and when authorized by board action, shall execute all documents approved by the Board of Human Services. Now therefore be resolved by the Board of County Commissioners of Los Angeles County, Colorado. 1, for the calendar year 2022, the Board of County Commissioners shall meet in its capacity as the Board of Human Services after their last regularly scheduled Board of County Commissioners meeting of each month. 2, all meetings of the Board of Human Services shall begin immediately following the conclusion of Los Angeles County Board of County Commissioners regular meeting, unless otherwise closed, and shall be held in Commissioners' Chambers, the Los Angeles County Courthouse, room 201, located 200 East First Street, January, Colorado, or virtually. 3, the chairman of the Board of County Commissioners shall also serve as the chairman of the Board of Human Services. Upon a motion made and seconded, and affirmative vote, this resolution was adopted this 4th day of January 2022. Board of the Board of County Commissioners, Los Angeles County, Colorado, followed by your signature lines.
Thank you. Entertain a motion this time, please.
Move to approve Resolution 22-005, establishing a schedule for periodic meetings and dates and times for Board of County Commissioners and the Department of Human Services meetings.
Second motion.
Commissioner Felix Lopez,
Yes.
Commissioner Hess,
Yes.
Commissioner Luis Lopez.
Yes, do you need a break, Mr. Duncan?
No, sir, I'm good.
Okay, item F, consideration of resolution 22-006 designating holiday observation for Los Angeles County. Please read the resolution.
Resolution, Board of County Commissioners of Los Angeles County, Colorado, designating holidays to be observed by Los Angeles County during the calendar year 2022, including New Year's Day 2023. Resolution number 22-006, whereas Los Angeles County, as a unit of local government within the state of Colorado, recognize various holidays that occur during the calendar year 2022, and whereas authority is vested in the Board of County Commissioners to designate those holidays to be observed by Los Angeles County during calendar year 2022. Now therefore be resolved by the Board of County Commissioners of Los Angeles County, Colorado, that 1, the following dates occurring during calendar year 2022 shall be observed as official holidays recognized by Los Angeles County shall include New Year's Day 2023, Martin Luther King Jr. Day, Monday, January 17, 2022, President's Day, Monday, February 21, 2022, Memorial Day, Monday, May 30, 2022, Independence Day, Monday, July 4, 2022, Labor Day, Monday, September 5, 2022, Columbus Day, Monday, October 10, 2022, Veterans Day, Friday, November 11, 2022, Thanksgiving Day, Thursday, November 24, 2022, Day after Thanksgiving, Friday, November 25, 2022, Christmas Eve, Friday, December 23, 2022, Christmas Day, Monday, December 26, 2022. Print observance of Christmas Day in print. New Year's Eve, Friday, December 30, 2022, New Year's Day, Monday, January 2, 2023, print observance of New Year's Day in print. On a motion made second, affirmative vote, this resolution was adopted this 4th day of January 2022, Board of the Board of County Commissioners of Los Angeles County, Colorado. Followed by your signature lines.
Entertain a motion at this time.
Motion to approve resolution number 22-006, designating holidays to be observed in Los Angeles County during the calendar year 2022, including New Year's Day 2023.
Second motion.
Commissioner Hess,
Yes.
Commissioner Felix Lopez,
Yes.
Commissioner Luis Lopez.
Yes, item G, consideration of resolution 22-007, establishing hours of operations for Los Angeles County departments. Please read the resolution, Mr. Duncan.
Resolution of the Board of County Commissioners of Los Angeles County, Colorado, establishing the hours of operation for offices and departments of Los Angeles County government during calendar year 2022. Resolution number 22-007. Whereas in accordance with CRS 30-10-109, the Board of County Commissioners is authorized to establish the hours of operation for all offices and departments of the county for access by the public and transaction of daily business during calendar year 2022. And whereas it is the desire of the Board of County Commissioners of Los Angeles County to accommodate the needs of the general public during 2022, provide for the access to various offices and departments of the county by establishing hours of operation during which times the general public may transact business in such offices and departments, with the exception of designated holidays. Such businesses include the payment of taxes and fees, obtaining information, acquiring license and records and other documents, etc. Now therefore be resolved by the Board of County Commissioners of Los Angeles County, Colorado, that 1, public hours excluding road and bridge and maintenance. During calendar year 2022, all offices and departments of Los Angeles County, excluding road and bridge and maintenance, shall be open Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. to the public. These offices and departments will be closed Saturday through Sunday and designated holidays. 2, public access to the courthouse. Public access into Los Angeles County Courthouse shall be allowed Monday through Friday beginning at 7:30 a.m. and concluding at 5 p.m. with the exception of designated holidays. However, Access to various offices and agencies during these times may be limited according to their specific hours of public operation. On a motion made and seconded, affirmative vote, this resolution was adopted this 4th day of January 2022 by order of the Board of County Commissioners of Los Angeles County, Colorado, followed by your signature lines.
Thank you. Entertain a motion at this time, please.
Move for approval of resolution 22-007, establishing hours of operation for Los Angeles County departments.
Second motion.
Commissioner Felix Lopez,
Yes.
Commissioner Hess,
Yes.
Commissioner Luis Lopez.
Yes, item H, consideration of resolution 22-008, establishing posting locations and meeting notices in Los Angeles County and Department of Human Services. Please read the resolution.
Resolution of the Board of County Commissioners of Los Angeles County, Colorado, establishing the posting locations of meeting notices for the Board of County Commissioners meetings and the Board of Human Services meetings for calendar year 2022. Resolution number 22-008, whereas the Board of County Commissioners and the seats of the Board of Human Services for Los Angeles County in conformance with CRS 24-6-402, the Colorado Open Meeting Act is required to conduct county business at meetings open to the public and to provide the public with timely notice of its meetings, dates, time, and locations. And whereas it is the duty of the Board of County Commissioners to provide timely public notice of the date, time, location, subject matter of issues to be considered by the board, a meeting to consider action on any policy, position, resolution, rule, or regulation, or to take formal action on any matter that may come before the Board of County Commissioners or its capacity as the Board of Human Services. And whereas CRS 24-6-402, print 2 print C provides for public bodies to satisfy compliance by the timely posting of notices of such public meetings on Los Angeles County website with a minimum of 24 hours of advance notice, when practical, of the date, time, location, and subject matter of issues to be considered by the Board of County Commissioners. Now therefore, be resolved by the Board of County Commissioners of Los Angeles County, Colorado, pursuant to CRS 24-6-402, print 2 print C notices of meetings of the Board of County Commissioners and the Board of Human Services for 2022, including when practical, a specific agenda identifying the subject of all matters to be considered by the board during such public meetings shall be posted on the following website. One website, https colon, so it's /4-losangelescounty.colorado.gov/. 2, the Board of County Commissioners designate the following locations as official posting places for notices of meetings of the Board of County Commissioners and the Board of Human Services. If the Board of County Commissioners is unable to post a notice online in exigent emergency circumstances such as power outages or an interruption in internet services that prevents the public from accessing the notice online. A bulletin board placed at the entrance of the west doors to the Los Angeles County Courthouse facing Maple Street, Trinidad, Colorado. B, a bulletin board placed at the entrance to the Commissioner's Chambers located in 201 Los Angeles County Courthouse located 200 East 1st Street, Trinidad, Colorado. Upon a motion made second, affirmative vote, this resolution was adopted this 4th day of January 2022 over the Board of County Commissioners of Los Angeles County, Colorado. All by your signature ones.
Thank you. Entertain a motion at this time, please.
I move to approve resolution number 22-008, establishing the posting locations of meeting notices for the Board of County Commissioners meetings and the Board of Human Services meetings for calendar year 2022.
Second motion.
Commissioner Hess?
Yes.
Commissioner Felix Lopez?
Yes.
Commissioner Luis Lopez?
Yes, item I, consideration of resolution 22-009, designating Dixon Waller and Company as fiscal auditor for Los Angeles County. Please read the resolution.
Resolution of the Board of County Commissioners of Los Angeles County, Colorado, designating Dixon Waller and Company as a financial auditor for Los Angeles County for 2022. Resolution number 22-009. Whereas the Board of County Commissioners is required to have prepared annually a fiscal audit of all financial statements of the county for each fiscal year, reflecting the financial condition of the county in accordance with generally accepted accounting principles and auditing standards. And whereas such a fiscal audit is required to be prepared by a certified public accountant licensed by the state of Colorado. Now therefore be it resolved by the Board of County Commissioners of Los Angeles County, Colorado that one, the Board of County Commissioners hereby designates the firm of Dixon Water Company, Inc. as a financial auditor for Los Angeles County for fiscal year 2022. On motion made and seconded, an affirmative vote, this resolution was adopted this 4th day of January 2022 by order of the Board of County Commissioners of Los Angeles County, Colorado, followed by your signature lines.
Entertain a motion, please.
Move to approve resolution 22-009 designating Dixon Water and Company as fiscal auditor for Los Angeles County.
Second the motion.
Commissioner Felix Lopez,
Yes.
Commissioner Hess,
Yes.
Commissioner Luis Lopez.
Yes. Item J, consideration of Veteran Service Officer, Mr. Nardi.
Commissioners, I believe it's every 2 years, yes, it is, RRB, we have to designate a veteran service officers for Los Angeles County. Administrative Assistant Paul Lucero submitted advertisements for letters of interest to be sent to the county. We did receive one letter of interest from our current veteran service officer, Ray Odom. So I asked the board to approve Ray Odom's being designated our VSO officer for a 2-year term.
Do we have any questions or comments from the board? Hearing none, entertain a motion, please.
I move to approve the designate the DSO for Los Angeles County, Mr. Ray Odom.
Second the motion.
Commissioner Hess,
Yes.
Commissioner Felix Lopez,
Yes.
Commissioner Luis Lopez.
Yes. Item K, consideration of EMPG grants, Mr. Nardi.
Commissioners, I will defer to
Sorry.
Emergency Manager Kim Chambers.
Sorry,
Good morning,
Kim.
Commissioners. This is our annual EMPG grant application, and it is designed to help pay for some of the funding for my EM program.
You get the same amount?
Once we turn in the application, they will determine
Okay,
the
this is
amount.
just the beginning.
This is a grant
Okay, it's a grant application. Normally we were getting about 22
13.5.
to 13.5. Trying to get 22 from. That was the equipment grant, wasn't it?
Yeah, we received several different grants: vehicle, credentialing system, radios.
Okay, do we have any other questions for Ms. Chavez? Entertain a motion, please.
Move for approval of the EMPG grant.
Second.
Commissioner Felix Lopez,
Yes.
Commissioner Hess,
Yes.
Commissioner Luis Lopez.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kim. Item L, consideration of Stonewall Shopping Bag liquor license renewal. Ms. Nelson.
I reviewed the application, it's complete, I have no concerns.
Any questions or comments from the board? If not, entertain a motion, please.
The Stonewall Shopping Bag liquor license.
Second the motion.
Commissioner Hess,
Yes.
Commissioner Felix Lopez,
Yes.
Commissioner Luis Lopez.
Yes. Item 9, financial matters. Considerations of bills and payroll for the second half of December 2021. Mrs. Corey.
Payroll as of December 31st is $166,670.83. Do you have any questions on payroll? The only bills that were paid was on December 22nd, 2021 for $133,325.08. Within that packet, we paid JPPS grant, that's a pass-through. We received the funds and we given that to the health solution. Emergency management got a new vehicle for $31,000. Post for the treasurer, we have to prepay it for $11,000 for the tax roll. And that was the option in this packet. That's it.
Ms. Coverly, one quick question, if I may. On the JBBS grant, is Health Solutions the only one providing the services to your knowledge?
Are they what?
Is Health Solutions under the JBBS grant, the jail-based behavioral services, are they the only one providing those
Yes.
services for the jail's
Yes.
facility?
Yes, they're the ones that are providing it, yes.
I thought that was a combination.
Of other companies?
I thought that's what the health, that's the Health Solutions and it's healthcare partners. When she gave the
Is Derek still on the line?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, maybe you can answer this question, Derek.
Can you repeat that? It was kind of, I couldn't.
Yes, Sheriff, my question on the jail-based behavioral services, who are the companies providing the services to your facility?
It's Healthcare Partners is the contract that we have, and that they get funds from the JBBS, and it's actually a contract. It's more not necessarily a grant, but it's a contract that they can give every year as long as the state has the funds to give.
And that was related to the presentation that you had that about a month or so ago?
Yes,
Okay, all right, thank you.
you're welcome.
Have any other questions or comments for Mrs. Cobley? Anything else, Mrs. Cobley?
That's it.
Entertain a motion, please.
Move to approve bills and payroll for the second half of December 2021.
I second that motion.
Commissioner Felix Lopez,
Yes.
Commissioner Hess,
Yes.
Commissioner Luis Lopez.
Yes. There's nothing else today, guys, gentlemen. Entertain a motion to adjourn.
I motion to adjourn.
Second motion.
Commissioner Hess,
Yes.
Commissioner Felix Lopez,
Yes.
Commissioner Luis Lopez.
Yes. Thank you, everybody, for being here today.